In the mid-1800s, in a now-forgotten kingdom known as Valandria, something horrifying unfolded. Nearly half the nation's population vanished over a span of just 10 years. No war, no natural disaster, no known epidemic. What started as a slow disappearance of towns turned into a national mystery. Entire villages gone, without a trace. No bodies, no refugees, only empty homes, smoldering hearts, and an eerie, recurring symbol left carved into doorways. A crescent moon wrapped in thorns. The monarchy, led by Queen Seraphina, cited famine, migration, and illness. But the numbers didn't lie. Over 2 million people had simply disappeared, and no one was held accountable. It was the disappearance of a rural farming village named Mere Haven that finally pushed the story into motion. Population, 612. Every man, woman, and child gone overnight. No damage, no signs of flight or fight. Food still on tables, beds still made, fires still warm. Enter Detective Lorien Vale, a former war analyst turned royal investigator. He was known for spotting patterns where others saw chaos. When Lorien saw Mere Haven, he didn't see abandonment. He saw surgical removal. He was the first to ask the question no one dared speak aloud. If this wasn't a disease, and it wasn't war, what if it was policy? Lorien began cross-referencing census data. What he found was disturbing. Entire towns that had existed for generations were suddenly marked uninhabited or non-existent. In government records, the National Archives were riddled with intentional redactions, and sealed documents labeled property of the royal crown had been quietly locked away under something called Directive OG 27. One name kept surfacing in whispers from traumatized refugees and rogue former soldiers. The Orchid Garden. Not a place, a program. Lorien bribed a royal archivist to dig deeper. Hidden behind false treaties and mislabeled documents were hundreds of official orders, transfers, evacuations, military deployments, all signed with one mark, the Queen's own crest. It all pointed back to one person, Queen Seraphina. Elegant, intelligent, beloved by nobles, admired by foreign courts. But hidden beneath her polished rule was a horrific secret. Her personal journal, uncovered inside the ruins of a burned-down monastery, told the story the public never knew. They laughed at my mother's accent, called her marsh trash. They ripped her from me and burned her alive for loving a king. I was 6. I remember the screams, born of a forbidden love between a royal and a low-born herbalist. Seraphina had grown up watching her family torn apart by prejudice. When she took the throne, she swore to restore order, but that order came at the cost of blood. The Orchid Garden was a systematic cleansing, targeting impure bloodlines, foreign southern accents, mixed ethnicity families, those with non-conforming beliefs or surnames. It wasn't just murder, it was ethnic genocide, hidden under the language of population stabilization. As Lorien prepared to go public, ready to expose the queen and destroy her reign, he was intercepted not by her guards, but by Prince Thalos, the queen's younger brother, long thought dead. But Thalos wasn't there to stop him. He had orchestrated it all. The leak of the files, the tip-off about Mere Haven, even the bribery network inside the archives. Why? Let her wear the blood. I'll wear the crown. The people will beg for justice, and I'll give them me. Thalos wanted the truth exposed, not to save the country, but to seize power in the chaos that would follow. Lorien was faced with a bitter truth. He had never been leading the investigation. He was being used. Lorien made the hardest choice of his life. He leaked everything anonymously. Within weeks, Valandria descended into revolt. Citizens stormed government buildings. The monarchy collapsed overnight. But Queen Seraphina didn't resist. She remained in her throne room, dressed in ceremonial white, and drank poisoned, Hemlock wine, the same toxin. Her mother once used to ease suffering. Her final note read, "They said I was born broken, but I was only the mirror. They looked into me and saw the nation they built." Prince Thalos assumed power weeks later, branding himself the savior. But his first decree? A crackdown on dissent, and a nationwide restriction on historical documents. The kingdom had exchanged one tyrant for another. We often imagine evil is loud, chaotic, obvious. But sometimes evil wears a crown. Sometimes it whispers. Sometimes it passes laws, stamps, orders, and smiles while doing it. The story of Queen Seraphina is not a fantasy. It's a reflection of real historical atrocities that have happened across time and geography. When those in power reshape truth, erase people with pen and paper, and call genocide stability, we must ask ourselves, if you think genocide only happens in history books, think again. Power still whispers behind closed doors. Subscribe to uncover the crimes history tried to bury.